I don't think AI agents are quite ready. They're making too many errors, but they will be there in the future. I think the focus, though, in 2026 should really be about intelligent automation, about using AI to do those gray areas that in standard RPA or automation can't really do. So, where might you be on that journey? So, I think, and I've put together kind of 7 points that you might be on your journey. And the first one is you haven't started yet at all, that you've got manual and siloed operations, a lot of manual processes, maybe a lot of Excel, fragmented data, and you're not really having a play with AI, you don't know where to start. Well, you just need to at least identify your efficiencies, raise awareness in your organization, start looking at your processes, and just really getting a handle on where your data is fragmented, possibly all over the show. Then you can use things like Microsoft Process Advisor, some Lean Sigma 6 methodologies, and just start training on what Microsoft has to offer. And then you'll have greater awareness. But just start playing with those AI experimentations, co-pilots, even ChatGPT. Just start playing to see what the limitations are. And then maybe target 5 processes to go through it. Then you'll be ready, and maybe this is where you are now, and you're playing around with AI. You've got ad hoc trials of remote process automation hanging around, maybe just Copilot, ChatGPT, or any other. And there's limited scope, or there's limited strategy, but you're at least having a play. Well, you need to start documenting those trials, identifying the bottlenecks, and discussing what has worked really well and where the failures are, because it's going to be important to understand which data just isn't right yet. Then assess those weaknesses. What is it that's helping things fail? Is it lack of knowledge? Is it the data isn't clean enough? Is it the processes are too complex and human orientated? So you need really to start looking at automation training as well, and AI training to go with it. What are the limitations? What is best tool for the right job? Then identify some quick wins. Build on those successes that you found, but really look at the ones that failed. That's going to be key. And look at the identity of the data, or the data that's really causing you some stress, because really the next part is identifying that, realizing that AI on its own isn't going to save you. Identify what are the blockers to your RPA solutions that you've tried to do. Look at the poor data entry that you might have and the errors that are creeping in, and can those be automated? Clean your data, improve those entry points, redesign processes to fit with AI, not try and get AI to break your processes, because it's not intelligent enough to do that. You're really going to need it to be helped along the way, and you'll need to redefine those processes. Things like Microsoft Purview to have a look at keeping your data secure, good governance. That helps Copilot not really look at data it shouldn't do. All the kind of above for good governance, really. Also looking at those business mapping tools, looking at Lean Sigma again to that, but looking again at that automation training, because you're trying to get an AI-ready environment with structured data that you've cleaned up, you've put in the right locations now, optimized for those workflows that you're now trying to design. So that data literacy piece is growing within your organization. Then I think you're ready. You've gone through the first wave of trying with AI, but now your data and your processes are cleaner. You can deploy some intelligent automation solutions while looking at the AI improvements and the way in which Copilot et al. Can be used to help you in your daily life. Raising that information awareness with your employees, and what is good low-hanging fruit really to get those automations. Focus on the high impact ones. What is it that's really bugging your organization? Real issues that are just stopping things from processing faster. That's where you're going to see the greatest growth. Using enterprise grade tools like Power Automate, Power BI, all the others to really make the most of what you've got within the Microsoft stack. And some R&D, play around with it. There's going to be failures, but there's going to be successes. But you won't get those successes without playing around. And you've constantly got to be evaluating what's going on. So an agile delivery, start adopting the Power Platform, maybe dabbling with Azure AI. It's working really well here at BDO with our BDO chat. It's really good sometimes as a halfway house. If you've used free Copilot, but not quite ready for the paid one, Azure AI can be that sweet spot in the middle. But you need to then start championing the people in your organization that are actually performing and are getting these intelligent automation pieces through, and start giving them time to play around with that. Then you'll start to see that actual tangible ROI, and you'll start to see this automation philosophy embedded within your organization, and it's going to start to help that decision making. Then is this quite the mature stage of what's going on. You've then got actual workplace and workforce training to get those experimentations, those R&Ds into the wider remit, establish change mentality within your organization. Most employees starting to use AI a lot more, streamlining those processes now to fit your intelligent automation, not the other way around. And you're starting to see your employees using the data and the dashboard you're creating to make better decisions. You're going to need to start redefining roles, right? These roles are people creating these processes, going in and looking at everything within the organization and working out what needs to change and which data entry points need to. That's a whole piece on itself. Maybe it's a brand new team. And that promotion of data literacy across the organization, you need all your work employees to be looking and understanding what part they play in that data process. It's not digital skills we're talking about, it's understanding their place in that data workflow. And then start tracking the usage of dashboards and those automation tools that people are using, and use the ADKAR model to build that desire within the organization to actually empower your employees to start coming up with the actual ideas. And Microsoft has its own adoption and change tools that you can use on Microsoft Learn and other places. And then start deploying those champions you've created in intelligent automation into other departments to see if they can work their magic somewhere else. And then start to individualize training in your organization. You've done the gradual training, but now you need to focus in on departments for those individuals. And that will produce a skilled workforce with high adoption rates of technology, not just AI, but automation and digital skills, and a culture shifted to intelligent automation. We're only on stage 6, right? There's a 7th, because now you need to scale up that growth. You've had pockets of this and you've got those focuses on IA, but your performance tuning here and trying to scale this within the whole organization, monitoring those KPIs with AI and process tools, refining your IA, and then building that department and successes and bleeding it into other departments within the organization. Having that framework of improvement cycles, having employees make their own dashboards, or at least suggest the dashboards that need to be created for things that are going to help them with their job. Oh, and then we've got the center of excellence-led kind of governance here, where you're looking at the pockets that are doing well with the organization and promoting them through and using what you've learned with your organization, not watching videos that work in other places. The great scaling will happen when you understand your organization. Then you'll be at peak efficiency. It's going to take a while to get here, but to get that kind of IA institutionalized within your organization is going to take time, but you've seen now how that pathway works. And then you'll start to see broad impact across the whole of the organization, leading with the final stage of continuous improvement. You've nailed it, right? But you now need to continually improve that. And all these things there, I don't need to kind of go through them. This is the golden stage, what you're driving towards. But all these feedback loops, knowledge sharing, process mining, this is where you want to be. Citizen developers, having your own people develop their own code, even using AI, which is very good at doing code, to then start playing around with tools. This is high level stuff. It's the dream to be at, but to be a future ready organization, you've got to start somewhere on this 7-point journey. And where are you now? Be honest. Go through it again and see where you are. Are you just playing with AI, or are you really implementing it? Because the strategies that we use at BDO-C5 is that think big. This is the think big. That step 7 is huge. I wish we can get there. We're not there yet. And very, very few organizations, if any, actually are. So you start small. Those pieces, if you're not using AI, play around with it now. Start moving fast. Don't dwell on the past, look at the errors, look at the successes, and start focusing on those. But really, it's about that advice. And you need the advice. Here we are to help, right? We can start you on that journey. And we're also transforming ourselves so we can give you that practical examples of what's worked for us and what hasn't. And then the training, running it within your organization. It's not going to happen overnight, and it's going to require a lot of resources and a lot of effort and a lot of buy-in from the top, from the bottom upwards. It's a part everyone plays within the whole organization. So that's a whistle stop tour. Be sure to read it back and see where you are in that organization. Let me know, or just grab a chat.